man knows that.
I know it because I've been talking to your father. Who the hell do you think I'm talking to?
Oh my God.
Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Where are you guys from?
Florida.
Oh, perfect. Well, first of all, I'm glad that you're here. Well, there's a soul that's coming through that I keep hearing had to be revived here in the physical world.
Our father.
Okay, he's here because right away he keeps showing me CPR when I'm connecting, letting you know that first of all, that there was nothing that was going to allow him to be able to live here in this world because he's bringing this through. Because he says to me, Matt, he says, it may have been my heart that killed me. He says, but I was going through a battle. He says, inside and outside, he tells me. And your father says to me, Matt, he says, when I died, I was not ready to give up my fight. And that's the reason why he's coming through. He says to me that the one thing that he wants you to know is he wants to thank you for the way that you stuck by his side. Because even though he passed tragically, your dad said to me, I was fighting to stay alive for you. And were you getting married at the time? Oh, you were.
He was.
And are you his
This
son?
is my brother.
You're his son. Because he keeps saying to me, he was waiting for the wedding. He was talking all about the wedding. He says, and Matt, I had to make it to that wedding. He's going to me. I had to make it to that wedding. He goes, I was not prepared. He's going like this to me. He goes, Matt, I was not prepared to die. I had so much life left in me, he's saying to me. And you know what's so crazy? This was a man that didn't complain. Even though he had so many problems, your father's like, I don't give a shit. I'm leaving the house. I don't care if I can't breathe. I don't care if I gotta have a catheter. I don't care. I'm leaving. I'm doing what the hell I want to do. And you know what? Screw you. That's what he's telling me.
Nobody can stop me.
Like when I'm connecting with him, he shows me that he lost so much weight before his passing. He shows me when I'm connecting, he's as skinny as a rail. I see that he even lost his color. Like your dad showed me, like it almost looks like he's yellow when I'm connecting with him. And what's so crazy is he, instead of feeling sick, like your father used to get so mad, like I see him getting out of the car and slamming the car door. I see him like coming out and like staggering in the house. I see him throwing his keys down. Like he's so frustrated with himself. Because he shows me that even though he was so sick, your dad would not lay in bed. He would not go to sleep. He would not rest. He literally had things to do. He had a bucket list and a list of chores, and that's all he cared about.
He had places to go and people to annoy.
He sat in a lawn chair and pressure washed the front of the house.
Well, when I'm connecting with him, he's got that same personality and spirit. And he goes to me, he keeps saying to me, like, I do believe in positive thinking. And with your dad, like, that's all he was. Because as much as the doctors would come in and say, oh, sir, you know, this is wrong with you, and this is wrong with you, and this is wrong with you, your father used to be like, yeah, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be all right. Like, he keeps going like this. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be fine. Yeah, all right. Yep. He says, and Matt, he goes, I didn't want anyone to talk about death, dying, or me leaving this world. He says that was off limits.
Yep.
I gotta tell you something. The way that your dad died was so tragic because of the fact that he was that he never slowed down, because of the fact that he had never rested, because of the fact that he put his body through so much. He shows me that at the end, his heart just gave out. And that's what's so crazy.
It's too much.
He says to me, Matt, he goes, I gotta tell you, he says, there was no way that I was going to be able to come back to life here in this world. He says, because I pushed my body to the limit. He says, and the reason why I did that, Matt, he says, I was so fearful. He says, I wanted to make sure that I saw every single moment of my children's lives that I could before I left this world. And by the way, I got to come over to your brother. So first of all, your father's coming over to you. Did you keep his car for a while after his passing?
I still have it.
That's crazy.
Right.
He kept telling me about you keeping his car, and he wants to thank you for holding on to his car, he's telling me. And he also wants to thank you for talking to him in it. He tells me that you have little conversations with your dad and you'll think about your father. And what's so weird, you're going to think I'm crazy, but your father keeps telling me that it smells like him. Like, do you ever go in the car and it smells like your dad? Because he's bringing that through, and all I keep smelling is like aftershave when I'm connecting with your father, letting you know that when you go in, you smell that smell, and you're like, oh my God, this smells like my dad. He says, that car was my life. That was my baby, he's telling me. And by the way, he tells me you're going to be fixing it up, and he sees that you've been working on the car.
You got plans?
Yeah.
He's telling me when I'm connecting, he goes, Matt, he goes, they're putting new wheels on it, because I saw a tire coming off, the whole wheel coming off and being changed out. And he says to me, oh my God, my son's keeping it up just like I did. And your dad says to me that meant so much to him, because he knows that you're doing that for a reason. He knows that you're doing that because it was your dad's, and he's acknowledging that. He also wants to thank you for keeping his watch here in this world.
I have all of his watches.
He says to me, his favorite one was like, there's a Movado watch, he's telling me.
It's Movado.
Yeah.
And for some reason, your father didn't know how to say Movado. He used to say like Nevado, he's telling me, or like Nevada, because I hear your loved ones. And your dad's telling me, my Nevada watch. I'm saying, what the hell is a Nevada watch? What the hell are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, your father's going, Nevada. I don't know what you're I'm telling him in my head. And then he just showed me this black face watch with the little thing up top.
English was my father's second language, and there were many words that he misspoke, but it was hilarious.
So that's the reason why, listen, your loved ones don't change when they go to the other side. That's crazy. So when this is why people say, Matt, can sometimes you not understand spirit? Well, yeah, if they spoke in a different way, how the hell am I supposed to know what he's saying? Like, he's telling me Nevada. There's no such thing as a Nevada watch. But of course, when he showed me, I saw it was Movado.
Yes.
That's
I have it.
That's just his way of acknowledging that. He also wants to thank you for everything that you did for the house, because he's acknowledging that when I'm connecting about the way that you've been fixing up the house. And he says to me, Matt, I just want to thank my son so much. I want to thank him for the way that he stepped up and the way that he's doing the same things that I would have done here in this world. You know, your dad tells me that what he wants you to know, sir, is that you made him so proud, because your dad's biggest thing, that what he wanted to do in life was teach you everything that he knew here in this world. And your dad says he's so proud of you because he sees the way that you work on the car, you work on the house, the way that you can fix things, the way that you're a problem solver. He's like, Matt, my son is so much like me. And he knows the way that you miss him every single day. But this is your dad's way of acknowledging this, letting you know that on the other side, he's still a part of your life, that he still sees everything and that he is fine. I'm also hearing Joe. Who's Joe or Joseph?
His best friend.
Joseph.
Yes, they
Yeah.
had the same birthday, the same year, the same everything.
And he passed as well?
Yes.
He's with him because he keeps telling me, Matt, I'm with Joe. I'm with Joe.
Oh my God.
He says to me, Matt, if you tell them this, they'll know that it's real. So know that by him being on the other side, it's his way of acknowledging to you that he is with Joseph in spirit, that they are together. And your dad wants to tell you one other thing. He knows about the way that you asked to stay with his body after he died.
Oh my God.
So
No one knows that.
I know it because I've been talking to your father. Who the hell do you think I'm talking to?
Oh my God.
Even though your dad passed so tragically, even though he just died like this, he says to me, Matt, he says, I died living life. I didn't die being sick. That's what he wants you to know. He says, I would rather die the way that I did 10 more times for one reason. He says, I got to spend every moment with the people I love, my wife, my daughter, my son, my family. So know that that's his way of just acknowledging that, letting you know, please don't cry, please don't be upset, but know that I'm there in spirit. And your father goes like this, he goes, Matt, he goes, you wouldn't believe it. He goes, but when I died, he goes, Joe was already there, he tells me. He says he had a drink ready for him. He says, and I knew at that moment that I was in heaven.
Wow.
I really hope that this helped you today.
It did so much.
Tremendously.
Thank you so much.
Tremendous.